talk about at parties. You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Keep this frequency clear.
And now it's conspiracy. See, they've made that something that should not be even entertained for a minute, that powerful people might get together and have a plan. Doesn't happen. You're a kook. You're a conspiracy buff.
You're watching The Truth is Viral, the only news program on the internet trusted to deliver the truth since 2008. And now, here's your host, Mr. Bobby Powell.
Welcome back to The Truth is Viral. My name is Bob Powell, and this is the second part of a two-part interview with Detective Mike Zullo of the Maricopa County Sheriff's Cold Case Posse, who's been conducting an investigation into Barack Obama's birth certificate. He's got some pretty shocking allegations in this interview that was conducted by my friend Carl Gallups of the PPSimmons ministry on his weekly radio show, Freedom Friday. Now, if you missed part one, just click this link right here and you'll be good to go. Otherwise, let's get right back to Carl and Detective Zullo without any further interruption.
You're going to like this next question. Somebody, let me see here. Fred wants to ask you about the future of the investigation, Mike. Fred, thank you so much for being a part of Freedom Friday. Go ahead and ask your question.
Well, first I want to talk about the past. You've said several times you went into this investigation with a completely open mind, and yet there was a conservative who spent hundreds of hours analyzing the long-form birth certificate and this whole situation, even wrote a book about it. He offered to help the Cold Case Posse, but you wouldn't even talk to him. His name was John Woodman. So I think you're probably, why shouldn't I think you're a liar when you said you...
Okay, I'm not going to let you call him a liar, but that's a good question, though. You asked a good question, but Fred, you're not going to call up here and call people names. All right, so Mike, do you want to answer his question about who you're allowing to be a part of the investigation, who you're not?
Yeah, actually, the individual that he's talking about is an individual that touts himself as some kind of computer expert.
Yeah.
And he wrote a book in support of this document claiming to be someone who was, I believe, a Republican and not interested in Mr. Obama on any level. However, we did get a copy of the book. Now, I have no correspondence from this individual saying that he wanted to help us. As a matter of fact, I repetitively have said that if anyone can produce any evidence to the contrary, evidence, not conjecture, evidence,
right.
and want to come into the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, I would be more than willing to receive them.
Right, and you're
Let
not...
me just touch. He mentioned the guy's name, so I'm going to finish this.
Yes, please.
The background into that gentleman, he is a defunct entrepreneur. He's an individual that I understand is no longer in the, quote, computer business. He at one time withdrew from this and then was recruited back into it. I don't believe any of his work that we were in possession of, his book. In our very first meeting with our computer experts, we went through the scenarios that he outlaid in his book. None of them could be duplicated.
Yeah.
Everything he put in that book was merely speculation and conjecture. As a matter of fact, the individual was using a substandard program trying to offer up these solutions to the dilemma. And they just paled. They just didn't even work.
And you know, Mike, I'm sorry, go ahead, finish.
Well, no, this is part of the tactic. When I talk to you about disinformation,
right.
This part of the tactic. They take a guy, they prop him up there, they call him an expert, and they want to trout him around saying that he's got the solution, he's got the answers, he can disprove this, when in fact he can't.
Right.
Then they go to the next level, and they call you a liar.
Right.
Or they call you something else.
Right.
Well, I want to make this really clear. I have the evidence.
Right.
I have undeniable evidence that this document is a 100% forgery.
And we've got...
Make no mistake about it.
Thank you. And we've got big people who have seen it, who are looking at it, and who are freaking out, and who are more than likely, if they do what they say, they're getting ready to do something about it. So Mike's got the evidence. Let me say this about that, Mike. I'm sure you answered Fred's question, but you're also not in the business of helping people sell books either.
No, I don't do that.
I mean, see, I think what people need to hear, and I think they've heard this today, you are a lawman. You are a professional investigator. You're working for Sheriff Arpaio of Maricopa County, a huge sheriff's office of the county that's the capital of Arizona. And and you know, hundreds of officers, and you're on the Cold Case Posse. This is a big deal, and this is criminal. This is not some little rinky-dink little thing, and you're not out to help people sell books, and you're not trying to get a civil case going. You're dealing with a criminal fraud perpetrated against the United States of America, right?
That about sizes it up, Carl. This is one of the most sensitive investigations I think that could be done. Because you're talking about going against a machine.
Yeah. Well, listen, let's take another time out, and we'll come back, and let's you and I disclose some things that we can disclose and give people a good flavor of what's going on and how they can donate and be a part of helping move this investigation along, okay?
Sure.
All right, good deal. Folks, we're going to take a quick time out, then we've got some exciting information to give you. You're listening to Freedom Friday with Carl Gallups. Mike Zullo will be right back.
Welcome back to Freedom Friday with Carl Gallups. Sit down, buckle up, and hang on.
All right, welcome back, America. Welcome back, world. You are listening to Freedom Friday, and we've got Mike Zullo on the line with us. Listen, before we go any further, I've got to give a shout-out to the local yokel, the folks at Claude, Melanie Duvall, the folks at the local yokel at the corner of U.S. Highway 90 East and Ward Basin Road, right here in Santa Rosa County, Northwest Florida. That's where our station broadcast from. Of course, we broadcast to 4 states along the Gulf Coast, stream live over the net and over your smartphone, and we're posted all over the Internet through the PPSimmons properties. And the local yokel, they help to make all of that happen, so you can thank them for that. They're a convenience store, a gas station, a deli, a car wash, corner of U.S. Highway 90 East, Ward Basin Road, Santa Rosa County, the local yokel, Claude and Melanie Duvall. You folks that are here in the local area, do business with them and thank them for what you're hearing today, because they are a part of disseminating truth to the world. God bless the local yokel. All right, Mike Zullo, listen, let me look at the board. Okay, I see that. We've got just enough time to deal with some things that I think a lot of folks have, tuned in to hear. First of all, let me just set you up. Let me just ask you a couple things. Just recently, now if I say anything wrong, you correct me. So I'm just going to try to set you up so that you can speak accurately. But it's my understanding that just recently, in the last couple of days, that you have come across even more evidence, new evidence, more evidence that just puts the nail in the coffin on this thing. I mean, it's just 1,000% a forgery. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. This is going to be hands down very easy for someone to come to the conclusion. It is a 100% forgery. It has been, I can't even say meticulously, it has been haphazardly put together. It is so evident, so easy to see, and this new information we have just solidifies it.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. The next question I'll throw your way is it not true that there are several VIPs, very important people, people of standing, people of in powerful positions, that have seen the evidence and or are making arrangements to see it, but they know about it and are speaking very seriously with you about helping to move this along to a criminal investigation level, at a level that something could actually happen. Is that true? That's
true, Carl. I just cannot speak to that at any length.
I know you can't, and but that's why I was couching it in very, very general terms. But so, folks, I want you to know there is a plan of action in the works. New authorities are involved and or are promising to get involved, and we cannot say who or at what level, but they are people of standing and very important people. And just in the last couple of days, new evidence has come to light that just seals the deal. The deal was already sealed, but this new evidence came to light from a very legally credible source that said, oh my gosh, look what we just found. And they are now, Lieutenant Zullo, Sheriff Arpaio, they are now in possession of that evidence. So is it not true, Mike, that when VIPs step forward at federal levels, state levels, and they come to you and say, look, all right, we're ready to get something done, is it not true that you have in your possession the case they need? It's done, it's wrapped up, you got a bow around it, you've got a gift for any VIP that wants to be the hero of the United States of America and go down in history as being the hero of the United States of America. You've got a gift for them, don't you?
I do, Carl, and I'm just going to, I wasn't going to bring this up, but I'm going to say it now without going into a lot of detail. I want your listeners to understand that the work that we did over the last 15, 16 months has been verified.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
That's how strong it is.
It has been verified. Thank you. That's a good way to say it. Yeah. All right. Gosh, I've got so many questions in my mind that I wanted to run by. Oh, another one. So tell people how they can donate. Now, this is not paid for with taxpayer dollars. This is paid for totally, this investigation and moving it forward. I mean, your travel expenses, everything is paid for by people who donate. And you're anticipating some big travel expenses coming up because we think that here very soon some big things are going to happen. So tell folks how they can donate.
Yeah, the Cold Case Posse is a 501c3. It's a non-profit organization, and everything that we do in this investigation, we have to find a way to fund it. The Maricopa County Sheriff's Office cannot use funds to fund this investigation. As such, we have a website set up. It's www.mcsoccp.org. I believe they could also go to PPSimmons, and there's a link there. If we can get $10 or $15, if we got $10 or $15 from everybody listening to us right now, it would be more than enough money to get us to where we have to go.
Right.
And hopefully bring this to some kind of conclusion.
Right. Folks, you can go to PPSimmons Facebook. You can go to carlgallups.com/Obama. Just do that, /Obama. carlgallups.com/Obama. It'll redirect you immediately to the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office Cold Case Posse site. And he said it was MCSOCCP, and that stands for Maricopa County Sheriff's Office Cold Case Posse, MCSOCCP.org. But we do need, I don't get any donations, but they do need donations because that's the money they use to operate, and this is getting so close. Well, Mike, of course I know the details, you know the details. We cannot share all the details, but if the people we're talking, that you're talking to right now, and I mean just in the last 48 hours, you've had some deep and serious conversations and follow-up conversations. Plus, there are people I'm getting ready to out as well. but the people you're talking to are people who are sticking with this. They've made promises. They're following through so far, and if they continue to follow through, you look for something pretty big to bust on this relatively soon. Can we give any hint at all about a general time frame so that people can be kind of looking at?
Carl, that's always an iffy proposition.
Yeah,
I can say within the next 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
It just things, the wheels of justice turn slowly.
I know.
And we have a lot of work to do ahead of us just there. And if that does happen, there's a lot of work to do after that happens.
That's true. But there is a definitive plan of action in the works with some people of standing who can make it happen. They're making the promises, and they know what you have. They know you're getting ready to hand them a gift, and we're excited about that. Am I right?
Yes, I am, very much so.
Yeah, okay. And so, folks, that's because this is a criminal investigation. Mike can't get on here and give you names and times and dates and places and offices and titles. He can't do that. You understand that. Our listeners know that. This is serious. This is of national concern. Somebody might ask me, Carl, why are you going to out this poor dude that lied to you? Well, because I'm tired of playing, folks. This is national security. This goes to our constitutional republic. I want our constitutional republic preserved. There has been a crime committed in and around the White House. We've got 100% proof of it. I want to know who did it and why, because I want to know who the commander-in-chief is. And that's where I stand on this. So this is not going away unless somebody brings 100% evidence forward, legal evidence to show us that, look, everything is perfectly legal. And that's your heart as well, isn't it, Mike?
It is. I can tell you certainty that there is no one that's going to be able to do that.
Yeah, I know. I guess that's why I can be so bold saying that.
Yeah, Carl, let me just say one other thing.
Yeah. You take the rest of the time. Say whatever you want.
You and I had the privilege while we were at CPAC. We took, before our flight Sunday morning back, we had the privilege of going to Mount Vernon.
Oh.
We had the privilege of standing in the same bedroom looking at the same bed that George Washington passed away in.
Yep.
We got to see a closer view of the man. Yep. Then we got to go to the Lincoln Memorial, and we saw the Washington Monument, and we saw the White House, and we were in the Capitol. You have to really put this into perspective. A sitting president is no longer a private citizen.
Right.
A sitting president, once he gets into that exclusive club, he is now part of a chain of history that goes all the way back to George Washington.
Right.
And if you go back in time, every sitting president was transparent about records, places of birth, anything that they were asked. It was there, and it was easy for anyone to see.
Yep.
This is the only time that I could recall that it's happened this way.
Yep.
Where everything has been secretive and shoved away out of sight.
Yeah, and threats have been made, and disinformation campaigns have ensued. And Mike, I got to tell our listeners this because you and I were blown away. So we're at Mount Vernon, and we've been through the estate. We're in the bedroom where Washington died. We're in his house. We're overwhelmed by all this. We walk back down to the museum, and there's an elderly gentleman there who's been, guiding tours, etc. And I asked him, I said, well, I think you asked him, and then you told him to repeat it. That's right. You asked him first. Has Barack Obama visited Mount Vernon? And the man looked at me and Lieutenant Zullo and said, he's the only president in U.S. history who's never set foot on this property.
Yeah, he did. He did say that.
Mike and I were so ashamed. It just blew us away. The guy almost cried when he said it. He's the only president in U.S. history who has never set foot on Mount Vernon property. But Mike and I know why, we think. Let me speak for myself here, Mike, because I want to keep you at the highest professional level. Because when you're there, all you see and hear about is character, character, character. I think I know why Obama has not been there. Mike Zullo, thank you for being a part of the show today. I know we're going to do more shows like this as it moves along because some big stuff's getting ready to happen.
Thanks, Carl. Thanks for having me. God bless.
God bless you as well. Folks, you've been listening to Freedom Friday with Carl Gallups, Mallory Bardwell, your world-famous producer. Mike Zullo's been on for the last hour and a half. Ted Schubach before that. Go to carlgallups.com tomorrow. Download the podcast. Plus, over the next couple of days, I know Mike Shoesmith, the PPSimmons Facebook and YouTube and Blogspot Ministries, will be uploading this entire show. It'll be all over the Internet. Plus, again, you can get it at carlgallups.com. Go up to the top, click on where it says Get Podcasts here. I'm sorry about the stream going down today. It was just overloaded with listeners, and there might have been a little cyber attack going on. We've had that in the past, so it wouldn't surprise me if that was a part of it today. But we'll be back next Friday, and we'll keep you abreast of all of this that's going on. You'll hear it only here. God bless you. God bless America.
Well, that was Pastor Carl Gallups and Detective Mike Zullo of the Maricopa County, Arizona Cold Case Posse with the latest on the investigation into Obama's birth certificate. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. I'd like to remind everybody that Patrick Heron is going to be back to talk about fallen angels and how Hollywood has an agenda to get us used to the idea that we are indeed living in the last days that Christ said would be just like the days of Noah, when Nephilim roamed the land, causing all kinds of chaos. And we'll have a return visit from Dr. Chuck Missler to talk about the holographic universe and the interdimensional demonic nature of UFOs and the coming Great Deception. And CIA spy Reza Khalili will be back as often as his schedule will allow to keep us updated on events in the Middle East. All in all, it's an exciting lineup of guests, and you don't want to miss a minute of it, I'm telling you. Now remember to share this video on Facebook and on Twitter, start up a conversation with it at your favorite forum, and subscribe to The Truth is Viral on Facebook and on Twitter. And if you're financially able, please go to bobpowell.blogspot.com and leave us a donation so that I can get to this Constitutional Sheriff and Peace Officer Association conference in Missouri and the Georgia Guidestones and the New Madrid Fault. For $1,500, I can bring you back a heck of a series of stories. So let's get that done. Thank you for watching The Truth is Viral. As always, my name is Bob Powell. God bless. Semper Fi. Hoorah.
Thank you for watching The Truth is Viral with your host, Bobby Powell. Make sure to follow The Apocalypse on Twitter at The Truth is Viral. Like The Truth is Viral on Facebook, and if you can, please remember to donate to the cause via PayPal at www.bobpowell.blogspot.com.
Smack, runner, you can't